Welcome back, everybody, to another Frugal Friday on the channel is Fire for Me. I'm Jesse. This is my wife, Kim. And I know that we've gotten quite a few new subscribers to our channel lately, and we really appreciate all of you joining us, and hopefully you've gotten to check out some previous Frugal Fridays. But if this is your first, welcome. And if you aren't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future videos. Alright, today you'll notice it is the Friday after Thanksgiving, and Kim has already gotten our house all very festive. Actually, it's been festive for about a week now. And so we are talking, actually this week landed right on a Christmas themed Frugal Friday. So what is this chapter's topic?
So you may recall we are reading through The Art of Frugal Hedonism by Annie Razor Rowland and Adam Grubb. And today's chapter is to reinvent Christmas. And I do think that's particularly timely because today in the United States it's Black Friday. So this is the day when a lot of people do a lot of shopping to stock up on Christmas. So this is kind of a good time for this topic.
Yeah, so watch this and then decide what you're buying.
Okay. Your authors realize it only happens once a year, but we reckon that reinventing Christmas is useful because it is so emblematic. If Christmas can be improved via frugality, then anything can. It's been over 10 years since Annie told everyone she knew that she didn't want any Christmas presents and wouldn't be giving any. She made an exception for her one remaining grandma, said Granny being old enough to maybe not quite get it, and also old enough to have done a lot of frugal time herself, enabling her to really appreciate small gifts like a box of Turkish delight. Those merry souls who choose to vanquish Christmas consumption mania often make a similar exception for children, but keep the presents humble in scale. Perhaps a stocking filled with small treasures, packets of glitter, a book, novel trinkets, or craft materials, perfect for allowing the grown-ups to relax all day while the stocking's contents are explored and put to use. Find the consumption grotesque but would still like to give something? What about only giving non-material presents, like a voucher for a massage, a lesson of some kind, or an afternoon of professional house cleaning? We know one circle of friends who decided to each make a donation to a charity at Christmas instead of giving each other presents. If you want to keep it small and yet stay away from useless tokenistic stuff, why not put aside a selection of the year's best homemade preserves and pickles to serve as gifts? People love pickles. Such treats also have the advantage of a long shelf life, meaning they create no sense of obligation to eat even more food over Christmas. For many people, festive food is another area of consumption-induced strain, and the perfect Christmas meal becomes an exhausting marathon of shopping and preparation, leaving usually the woman of the house so busy getting a parade of dishes to the table that she barely gets to sit down and enjoy them. And this over-catering scarcely makes sense in an age and culture where most people feel like they eat too much on a regular basis. In eras where daily fare was very humble and featured virtually no treat foods, a feast was anticipated with legitimate glee, typically including more animal protein and energy-dense luxuries like dried fruit and honey. But we live in an age where meat is left to spoil in thousands of refrigerators across the country daily. Hamburgers and milkshakes are thrown away half-consumed, and dried fruit is considered a virtuous alternative to snacking on cookies. What's the alternative? If you're feeding people, you could focus on quality instead of quantity to avoid ending up with piles of excess food. Make a regular-sized meal, but base it around scrumptious seasonal and local ingredients, or an old family recipe. Food that has atmosphere and stories behind it. Decorate the table, make a big deal out of eating. Or invert the whole tradition and have carpet picnics of nothing but champagne, turkey, and cranberry sauce toasted sandwiches and chocolates while the whole family plays word games. The kids will love it, and there'll be hardly any washing up. If someone else is hosting you, don't just bring an extra dish because you feel like it's the done thing. Offer to help cook or clean up instead. And if you've been specifically asked to bring something, avoid over-catering by asking the cook which part of the meal they'd like you to provide. So forget cramming in shopping after work, paying off Christmas credit debt, and sensing that you may be ill if you eat one more box of mediocre fudge that someone gave you because they felt like they had to get you something. Take Christmas into your own hands and mold it into something admirable. A frugal Christmas is the anti-stress, brandy-laced event a holiday should be. Imagine a delicious few days off, spending time with your clan, cooking together, making up stupid games, and having very long afternoon naps.
Well, I think we've got a few things to talk about here. Let's start with food, since we just came off of Thanksgiving and the amount of work that goes into making and preparing and consuming all of the food that's made. I think that's something we can easily relate to, as all of our American viewers, at least, just got done doing that. All of the other viewers we have from around the world just had a Thursday.
Yeah.
So good for them. Hope you enjoyed your Thursday. But I think, there's some good points in there on, don't skip out on the traditional food items that everybody's going to eat and that, have some value. That's not the point in all this. The point is, let's not just make food to make food, right? Let's make food because we want to consume it. It's going to, be something we enjoy, and then let's consume food that, or make the right amount of food that we're going to consume it all and not have a bunch of leftover waste. I know, well, for those of you who don't know, we cook vegan in our house, and so we're not going to have a lot of meat waste, but food waste, I think, is more of what they were mainly going for. They just happen to speak on spoiling meat and stuff like that. So, what do you think on the food side of things?
I think this year for the Thanksgiving here in the United States, we were all encouraged to have smaller gatherings with just our households. And so I think that changed things up a lot for people. Instead of making one or two parts of a dish that you were taking to a large family gathering, maybe you were preparing the entire thing. And so then you had to think, well, I don't want to make, a feast for 8 if there's only 4 of us, so I'll scale everything back. And I kind of liked that. I like the idea of making a little bit less than you would traditionally. I also was thinking that it's kind of a bummer right now because here in the United States, turkeys are killed for Thanksgiving, and to have a turkey, families are probably buying a whole turkey, and there is probably meat that's going to waste, which for me is the life of an animal that's just being discarded, because instead of preparing a turkey for 8 people that are going to eat it, you're preparing it for only 4 people. And everyone knows that nobody really likes turkey anyway. It's just like this traditional meat that people prepare. So,
well, I'm sure some people like turkey out there, so we're not dissing on you. But I think, and not to kind of make it more sad, but if everybody's doing their own gatherings, maybe they're now buying a smaller turkey, so they're not having a bunch of leftover, but they're killing twice
more
as many
turkeys.
birds, right?
I know.
Yeah,
I was thinking about that Thanksgiving morning as I walked the dogs, and I was very sad. So it's a little bit of a bummer, but
well, we'll have our tofu turkey and and our ham and all that. So
I think our authors also would really give us a nice nod for using leftovers, and I think that that's something that you can really enjoy is taking whatever leftovers you have from the meal that you've made and using those throughout the week to make sandwiches or to heat them up and really enjoy them, because they are foods you kind of only get usually one time of year because they're holiday-centric foods.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, leftovers are great, especially at Thanksgiving. So, all right. So the next section they were kind of talking about was gifts, and I guess they kind of started with it, but gifts are kind of interesting, for you, gifts is kind of your love language. So, cutting gifts out altogether is not something that I think would be something you would vote for. But buying gifts just out of obligation has always been something that I've never really enjoyed doing. I like to buy a gift for someone because it speaks to me about them, or I know they're really going to enjoy it. And actually, I'll spend more than I normally would spend on a gift if I know that, like, this item is something that this person is just going to, like, love and use all the time. And it's not just going to be like, oh, thanks, I opened it, and then as soon as you left my house, I threw it in a box or something, So, but I don't know how you do that at Christmas when, like, you can't just half the people you find something you really like and the other half you don't. You got to get everybody a gift. So how can we handle that situation?
Well, I have a few thoughts. So Jesse's family a few years ago decided to stop doing gifts between one another. So his siblings don't do gifts with each other, which I think is a little bit boring and humdrum. But I also think that that solves the problem of people trying to come up with something for somebody who already has all the things they need and they can't really think of an item. So they're just buying a gift card and then you're just exchanging gift cards with one another. And there's nothing really personable about that. So I think that that's one option if that works for your family. If you're like, hey, we're just exchanging gift cards every year. We aren't really huge into gifting. Nobody's getting anything out of this. Can we just forego it or do something different, whether it be like they suggested giving to charity or maybe doing like a nice white elephant gift exchange so that you still get the excitement of opening presents, but you don't have that kind of obligatory factor.
Sure.
I also have a friend that I talk about almost every episode in this, and she has a master gift spreadsheet. And so throughout the year, when she's talking to her friends or family members and they mention something, she just plugs it into her spreadsheet. And then she buys that item for the person. And sometimes she'll give it to them at a holiday, a birthday, or something like that. Sometimes she just gives it to them on the whim. She said that I talk about things that could make easy gifts all the time. And I love gifts and I love receiving gifts. And so I think she has like 50 things or something for me. So she's trying to scale back there. But a lot of her other friends, they'll mention something and she'll be like, oh my gosh, I could turn that into a gift. And then she'll find it on Etsy and she'll give it to them. So I think if you can be intentional about gift giving, if it's something you want to do and you enjoy doing it, you can pick things up on the people that you care about. And as long as you can hang on to those gifts, I think that's the hard part. If you're out and about and you're like, oh my gosh, this is perfect for this person. For me, I want to give it to them right then. And so I usually do. So then when the holiday rolls around, I don't have a gift because I've already given them 3 gifts during the year because I've seen things that make sense for them. But I think if you are a bit of a planner and you can create like a gift Excel, I think that can work really well.
I am not good at holding gifts.
No, you're not.
Kim has already got her Christmas gift this year, and now she'll get some little stuff here and there, but it just made more sense. I ended up getting her an inflatable hot tub because we had a hot tub at our last house, and it didn't make sense to move it to this house because of the deck that's not easily accessible from the downstairs. So we went ahead and just we've been looking for the last year or so, and Kim found some decent reviews on an inflatable hot tub. So we decided this year to get an inflatable hot tub, but I didn't want to wait till Christmas when winter's half over and we could have been using this hot tub. So I got her her hot tub early, and then been using it myself quite a bit too. So it's been benefiting me as well. But those are the types of things. And then does your friend watch our videos?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So if you can go ahead and text me or messenger me some of those list ideas. If you've got too many, I don't mind. I try to pick up on what Kim says, but you seem to be a lot better at it. Okay? Thank you.
She's at least better at the listing part. Yeah.
Yes, right. Yeah, good point. But anyways, yeah. So I think those are great ideas. And the white elephant gift exchange, we've done that before, and that can be fun, where you end up getting just one gift for the group and kind of go around and steal and trade and whatever. So
I like the way your family does that too with handmade gifts, or at least that's what they used to do. And so each person could contribute something that they had made themselves that didn't cost a lot of money, so you weren't spending a whole bunch. So I thought that was pretty fun when we used to do that.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting this year. We should be probably saving some money on travel and stuff. So maybe we can save on that side of it if we end up having to spend a little more on gifts or something. But yeah, I think it's definitely an area we can consider and maybe give, rather than giving things, we can give events or
experiences. Or,
yeah, that's a good way to put it. So
yeah.
Well, we'd love to hear what you guys have done in the past for your gift giving, different ideas and how you've reinvented Christmas for your families. So leave those in the comments down below for us. And if you don't have anything else, then we'll wrap this up.
Happy Frugal Friday.
We'll see you next week.